a song that takes you back and then realize you have no clue who even sang it? 1966 was full of that magic. Garage rock was boiling up, soul was blooming. But tucked between the big stars were songs that came out of nowhere, hit the charts like a flash of lightning, and vanished just as fast. Today on Americast, we're digging up 10 unforgettable one-hit wonders from 1966. And if you stick around, we've got a couple of bonus tracks you might not remember, but we promise you haven't forgotten how they made you feel. Cool Jerk, The Capitals. It wasn't fancy, just a raw bass line, a goofy dance move, and a hook you couldn't forget. But in 1966, Cool Jerk took over radios and dance floors alike. The Capitals weren't Motown stars. They were local guys from Detroit who cut the track in one take. That messy, real energy, it made the song pop. You might remember hearing it at teen parties or spinning it on a 45 just to practice the moves. They never had another hit, but this one stuck around, turning up in movies, commercials, and family reunions long after the dance faded. Psychotic Reaction, Count 5. They wore vampire capes on stage. Seriously. I need you, girl, by my side. 5 teenagers from San Jose who wanted to sound like the Yardbirds and somehow ended up with a fuzzed-out garage anthem. Psychotic Reaction wasn't clean or polished. It was messy, loud, and full of raw guitar breaks that felt like a breakdown in progress. But that's what made it work. It captured the chaos kids felt back then, the urge to break free, to scream, to just make noise. It hit number 5 on the charts, then vanished just as fast. But ask any garage rock fan, this is the song that blew the doors open. The Pied Piper, Crispian St. Peter's. It sounded like a nursery rhyme, but somehow it worked.
Contemplating what to do in case happiness found you. Can't you see that it's all?
In 1966, the Pied Piper drifted onto the radio with a sweet melody, a sing-song hook, and a promise to follow him anywhere. Crispian St. Peter's wasn't a big name, just a British folk pop singer with a soft voice and a look that made teenage girls swoon. But this song had charm. Maybe you remember hearing it on a transistor radio at the beach, or humming along without really knowing why.
Hey, come on, baby, follow me. I'm the Pied Piper, follow me.
He called himself the Pied Piper, and for one summer, a lot of people followed. Talk Talk, the music machine. It was dark, fast, and over in under 2 minutes.
I got me a complication.
Talk Talk didn't sound like the sunny hits of 1966. It was all attitude, growling vocals, pounding drums, and a wall of buzzed-out guitar. The music machine came out of LA, dressed in all black with a single leather glove. They looked like they meant trouble, and this song backed it up. You didn't dance to it. You stomped to it, cracked the top 20, then disappeared. But it left a mark. Ask any punk or alt-rock fan where it started, and you'll hear this name. Love Makes the World Go Round, Dion Jackson.
You know love makes the world go round.
It wasn't flashy, no big band, no gimmicks, just a smooth voice and a message that hit home. In 1966, Dion Jackson's Love Makes the World Go Round slid onto the charts with a melody that felt like a warm hug.
It makes a boy and girl, oh, say they feel so fine now.
It was the kind of song you might have slow danced to at a school gym, or played on repeat during quiet nights with someone special. Jackson didn't chase fame, and he never had another big hit. But for a little while, his voice was everywhere, reminding everyone that maybe love really was the answer. Little Girl, Syndicate of Sound. It came in swinging, just 2 chords and a sneer.
Hey, little girl, you don't have to hide nothing no more.
Little Girl was garage rock at its purest, short, loud, and just cocky enough to grab your attention. The Syndicate of Sound were teenagers out of San Jose who caught a lucky break. They recorded this one in a rush, and somehow it clicked. You might remember the snotty vocal, the jangly guitar, or that punchy chorus that stuck in your head whether you liked it or not.
Now other girls get it, you didn't think of nothing new. You went out on me, so the other girls.
They never got close to the charts again, but for 2.5 minutes, they had a hit that punched way above its weight. The Cheater. Bob Kuban and the In-Men. It sounded upbeat, brassy, bold, almost cheerful.
Haven't you heard about the guy known as a cheater?
But listen closer, and it was a warning. In 1966, The Cheater told the story of a guy who stole other people's girlfriends and got what was coming. Bob Kuban was a band leader from St. Louis, and this was his moment. Tight horns, clean vocals, and a twist ending that made it more than just a dance tune.
Girls have better stays inside the door now.
Some folks say it predicted real-life tragedy. The band's singer was murdered years later by a man involved in a cheating scandal. One hit, one strange legacy, and a song that still gives people chills. Hey Joe. The Leaves before Hendrix made it famous. The Leaves got there first. In 1966, their version of Hey Joe hit the charts with snarling guitars and a sense of danger. It wasn't polished. It was wild, fast, and full of tension. The story was dark, a man running after shooting his lover, and the Leaves didn't soften it. They leaned into the chaos. You might remember blasting this one in the car, windows down, feeling just a little rebellious. They never hit again. But this track, it kicked open a door Hendrix would later walk through. Walkin' My Catnamed Dog, Norma Tanega. The title alone made people do a double take.
Walking all around the town, singing all the people down.
Walkin' My Catnamed Dog wasn't like anything else on the radio in 1966. Folk pop with a twist, odd lyrics, offbeat charm, and a melody that felt like a Sunday morning walk. Norma Tanega was a poet first, musician second. And this song, it came from her real life. She actually had a cat named Dog.
In my cat named Dog, we're walking high against the fall.
It didn't climb that high, but it stuck with people. Maybe because it felt honest. Maybe because it was just weird enough to be unforgettable. She disappeared from the charts, but the song became a cult classic, the kind of tune that quietly finds its way back to you years later. At the Party, Hector Rivera. It starts with a beat, then never lets up.
Like to see you at the party. Get your shoes on, don't be tardy. Things will be jumping at the party.
In 1966, At the Party turned a simple piano riff and Latin percussion into a full-on dance floor magnet. It wasn't trying to be deep. It was just there to make people move. Hector Rivera was more known behind the scenes, arranging, producing, playing keys. But this track, it gave him his moment in the spotlight.
At the party, they can go. At the party, go, go, go. At the party, go, go, go.
You might remember it spinning at backyard cookouts, block parties, or late-night radio shows that made you want to get up and groove. He didn't crack the charts again, but this one still shows up when the vibe calls for something cool and timeless. Elusive Butterfly, Bob Lind. It wasn't loud. It didn't beg for attention. It just floated.
You might wake up someone to the sound, something moving past your window.
In 1966, Bob Lind's Elusive Butterfly drifted onto the charts like a dream. Poetic lyrics, soft guitar, and a melody that felt like early morning light. He wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing something just out of reach. Love, maybe, or the perfect moment.
You're in, you might hear footsteps running through an open meadow.
You might remember it playing softly from an AM radio or tucked between louder songs on a mixtape. It never happened again for Lind. But this one song caught something beautiful. And for a few weeks, the world slowed down to listen. I Can't Grow Peaches on a Cherry Tree. Just Us. The title said it all. Some things just aren't meant to be.
I have tried to make you love me. I've done everything your way.
In 1966, this gentle ballad by Just Us slipped onto the charts with soft harmonies and a message that felt personal. It wasn't angry. It wasn't dramatic. It was acceptance, the kind that hits a little harder when you've been through it. You might have heard it on a rainy afternoon or after a breakup that left more questions than answers. The duo faded after this, but the song stayed. A quiet reminder that love doesn't always grow the way we want it to. All of them hit once and then vanished, but they didn't really disappear. They stayed in the background, in your memories, in old radios, in quiet corners of the internet, waiting to be heard again. So tell us, which one brought it all back for you? Drop your favorite in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you love finding the songs time almost forgot, because sometimes one hit is all it takes.